All right, and now it's time to answer some of your legal questions. We turn to Fox 26 senior legal analyst Chris Tritico to help us out. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Happy 4th of July.
And to you.
And I'm so proud that you are here on a holiday to help out our viewers.
Well, we got to come in and answer these questions. They build up on me. I got to come in.
I bet they do. Well, let's get you started then. The first one coming in from Beverly, who writes, my aunt is almost 92 and is in an assisted living facility with dementia and is now near death. She originally wanted a trust set up for her great-granddaughters upon her death. However, she has outlived her money and is now on the Star Waiver Plus Medicaid program to help pay her rent. There was no money to set up a trust for the great-granddaughters. In Texas, does a will still need to be probated even if there is no money left in the estate to carry out the wishes of the will's owner?
Beverly, that's a great question, and God bless your aunt for wanting to take care of her great-granddaughters. This happens a lot, that people are outliving their money, and not only in Texas, everywhere. If there's no assets in the estate that causes it to need to be probated, then the answer is no. But if there's a bank account that has any money in it, then she's the only name on the bank account. Or if she has a car or any property that's titled that has to be transferred, then yes, you're going to have to open an estate. That's the critical question. If there's something that causes you to have to open an estate, then you're going to have to probate the will. But if there's nothing left, and I mean nothing that causes you to open that estate, then no, you don't have to probate the will. That's the critical question. Just seek out the lawyer of your choice who does probate and go over her assets and make sure that you don't have to do anything before too much time passes. Good luck.
Oh, that's helpful information.
Yeah.
It's got to be a tough time they're going through right now. Our next question coming in from Angie, who writes, my ex-husband and I bought a house back in 2005. We were not legally married, but all the paperwork from when we bought the house refers to us as husband and wife. Shortly after we moved in, he decided to cheat and moved out. He abandoned the house and never helped with any payment since then. I have reached out to him to sign a quit claim deed, but he refuses to sign anything. He is married to the person he cheated on me with and now owns a home with her. What are my rights here? What can I do? I'm terrified that if something happens to me, they will take over the house.
So Angie, I had to ask you a question here. Are you sure you weren't married? Because you started your question that said, my husband moved out. And in the next sentence you said we weren't legally married. In Texas, a common law marriage happens when you cohabitate, you consummate the marriage, and you hold yourself out as being legally married. And it sounds to me like you just did that all in one email. And so if you and this gentleman, if I can call him that, were holding yourself out as married and you were living together and you consummated that marriage, then in Texas you were married under the common law. And so you need to be careful about how you're referring to your ex-boyfriend, if that's what he was, because you may have just married him, all right? So be careful how you phrase this. Now, answering your question, if you weren't married and you bought that house together, then you have a partnership in the ownership of that house. If he won't sign a deed, then you're going to have to sue him to wind down that partnership. And I promise you, once he gets a letter from the lawyer of your choice that you hire saying you're about to sue him, he's going to sign that deed for you because he doesn't want to hire a lawyer himself. But the lawsuit to wind down the partnership or partition the property, that'll force him to do something and take some action. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but it will protect you at the end of the day to get him to do what you want him to do. Good luck.
It's a shame it has to come to that, but hey, she's got options. That's
right.
Huge.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for letting her know that, Chris. Our final question coming in from Anonymous. My daughter was staying in an efficiency apartment with her 6-year-old daughter. Her friend was staying at a hotel and they decided to get a place together. After about a year, my daughter and her friend are no longer getting along. My daughter wakes up with the friend cussing and my granddaughter hears this. My daughter also believes the friend is trying to get her out so her boyfriend can live with her. I told her to call the landlord. She did. She also asked if she has to pay for that month. The answer was no because she moved out early. I told my daughter to call the landlord back to get her name off the lease. She did and has never been removed from the lease. I'm afraid they will hold her responsible for damages to the apartment when he and her boyfriend move out. What can she do?
Well, so under Texas law, if she's on that, signed that lease, she's responsible not only for damages to the apartment when they move out, but she's also responsible for the rent. And the fact that the landlord said you can move out, that did not necessarily release her from responsibility for the lease contract. And so I suggest that she recontact that landlord either by email or go over there and sit down in that apartment manager's office and say, we need to settle this, and get it in writing that she is released from that lease contract from the date she was allowed to move out. And next time, if you're going to get released from a contract early, get it in writing that you are released from the contract from that date forward. She is not necessarily released from anything. The fact that the landlord said you can go and it's not in writing, it's going to be very difficult at the end of the day if they come back on her and say, you owe all this back rent. Good luck.
Chris, thanks again for helping our viewers, especially on a holiday. If you would like to send us your legal questions, hop on our website, fox26houston.com. You can find all of Chris's segments under the Morning News tab. And he always tells you, if you need specific info or advice, contact an attorney of your choice.